You are about to witness one of history's most calculated acts of psychological warfare. For 76 days, the French Revolutionaries didn't just imprison Marie Antoinette, they systematically dismantled her humanity piece by piece. And it all started with an 8-year-old boy. Forget the guillotine, that was the mercy. What came before was far darker. History remembers her as the frivolous queen of let them eat cake, but that was a caricature created to justify a massacre. The real story of Marie Antoinette's final days isn't about politics or crowns. It's the story of a mother whose love was weaponized against her. Today we go inside the Temple prison and the Conciergerie to uncover the horrifying psychological torture of prisoner 280, a woman who lost everything, yet found a way to keep her dignity until the very end. July 3, 1793. It begins in the dead of night at the Temple prison. Heavy boots echo down stone corridors. Marie Antoinette is sleeping beside her son, Louis Charles. Since her husband's execution 6 months prior, she hasn't let the boy out of her sight. The door explodes open. 6 guards enter with a decree. They are taking the boy. For 1 full hour, the former Queen of France transforms into a primal force. She throws her body against the door, screaming until her voice breaks, begging them to take her life instead. This wasn't random violence, it was calculated. The revolutionaries realized they couldn't break her with starvation or humiliation, but they could destroy her through her children. They dragged the sobbing 8-year-old away, his screams echoing until they faded into a silence that would haunt the tower forever. To understand why they hated her so much, we have to look back. Born Maria Antonia of Austria, she was a pawn in a geopolitical game, married at 14 to a man who ignored her for years. Isolated and mocked by the French court for her accent and foreign blood, she retreated into expensive gowns and private parties. By the time the revolution erupted in 1789, she was the perfect target, a foreigner, a woman, and a queen. But by 1793, the party girl was gone. She was a mother who had watched her eldest son die of illness and her husband die by the blade. She had already lost her crown and her country. Now, the state wanted her soul. After taking her son, they moved her to the Conciergerie, the antechamber to the guillotine. She was no longer a person. She was prisoner 280. Her cell was a damp, moldy box of 12 by 8 feet. The most insidious torture was the privacy they granted her. They gave her a small folding screen to change behind, but they stationed 2 armed guards in the cell at all times. They watched her eat, sleep, and use the chamber pot. Every tear and every prayer was recorded. Under this stress, her hair turned white, a medical phenomenon now known as Marie Antoinette syndrome. She was 37 years old, but she looked 60. On October 14, 1793, the final act began. The trial was a performance with a predetermined verdict. They threw charges of treason and conspiracy at her, which she refuted with startling intelligence. Seeing they couldn't win on logic, the prosecution played a venomous card. They brought forward accusations, forced out of her 8-year-old son through beatings and brainwashing, that she had sexually abused him. The courtroom went silent. This was the moment she shattered. She didn't address the judges, she addressed the mothers in the crowd. "I appeal to all mothers present," she cried. "Is there one among you who would not shudder at such an accusation?" For a moment, even the mob was moved, but it didn't matter. At 4 a.m. on October 16th, she was sentenced to death. In her final hours, she wrote a letter to her sister-in-law, forgiving her enemies and begging for the protection of her children. She never knew that the letter would be intercepted and hidden in an archive for decades. Her family never saw it. At 11 a.m., her hair was hacked off with shears. Her hands were bound so tightly the rope cut into her skin. Unlike her husband, who was given a closed carriage, she was forced into an open wooden cart used for animal carcasses. For over an hour, she was paraded through the streets of Paris, while the crowd spat and cheered.
Yet, as she climbed the steps of the scaffold, a final, surreal moment occurred. She accidentally stepped on the executioner's foot. In her last breath, she turned and whispered, "Pardon me, sir, I did not mean to do it," an apology to the man about to kill her. In the face of absolute degradation, she chose the one thing they couldn't take, her grace.
The French Revolution wanted to remember Marie Antoinette as a monster of excess, but their cruelty only revealed the human being beneath. They stripped her of her privacy, her children, and her dignity, yet she remained a mother and a woman of courage until the blade fell. If this deep dive into one of history's darkest chapters moved you, please consider following for more historical narratives. We explore the complex figures caught in the gears of time every week. How do you see Marie Antoinette now? As a villain, a victim, or something far more complicated? Let's discuss it in the comments below.